Lewis Hamilton sent classy Sports Personality of the Year message to Geraint Thomas missed out on winning the award for a second time despite winning his fifth F1 world title this season. Hamilton has become one of the most decorated British sportsmen of all time but still appears to be underappreciated by the public. He finished second in the voting for Sports Personality of the Year last night with Tour de France winner Thomas scooping the top prize. England captain Harry Kane finished third after winning the Golden Boot at the World Cup in Russia. And Hamilton sent a classy message to Thomas this morning when he posted an image on his Instagram story. He wrote, "Huge congrats to Geraint Thomas. So well deserved." Hamilton was also very classy with his message to Billy Munger, who won the Helen Rollason Award. He said, "So proud of what you have achieved, Billy. True fighting spirit and inspiration. It was an honor to be there with you tonight." Hamilton is closing in on Michael Schumacher's record of 7 world titles after winning his 5th. But the 33-year-old insists he is not focused on the record books. "Honestly, it is not my target," he said on stage at Spoti. "My goal every year is just to improve and get better. Trending. To grow as a man and as a competitor. The great thing is the competitiveness never leaves you." "Every year I'm trying to analyze and see how I improve. Working with these guys is an incredible journey and one I will enjoy." Next news: damage of Verstappen crash is confirmed by Red Bull. Both Max Verstappen and Red Bull would have finished in second place in Formula One's championships this year without a string of errors, according to the team's motorsport advisor Dr. Helmut Marko. Verstappen recovered to finish fourth in the Drivers' Championship after a poor start to 2018, while Red Bull were a lonely third in the Constructors' standings. Verstappen made contact with either another driver or the barriers in each of the first 6 races of 2018, costing him places and points on 5 occasions. Things came to a head for the Dutchman at the Monaco Grand Prix, when a crash in FP3 put him to the back of the grid for a race that teammate Daniel Ricciardo won from pole, despite suffering partial engine failure. Ricciardo's woeful run of reliability in the second half of the campaign hit Red Bull further. Marko says that Verstappen must learn that banking points is more important than trying to win every race, as Red Bull hoped for a Honda-powered title charge in 2019. "We had an intense conversation," Marko told Motorsport magazine of Verstappen's rotten run. "The problem was that he was putting too much pressure on himself. He is still a very ambitious Max Verstappen. But he realizes that he does not have to be up front in every session. He sees a race as a whole, and he must also have the championship in mind next year. You do not always have to be in front." "We made a kind of what-if calculation internally. If neither Verstappen, nor the team, because we have made some mistakes, would have made mistakes. Max would be second in the drivers' standings and we would be second in the Constructors' Championship." Next news: why Ricciardo thought Verstappen partnership wouldn't work. Daniel Ricciardo says he did not expect to enjoy such a harmonious relationship with Max Verstappen when the Dutchman arrived at Red Bull during the 2016 season. The pair were regularly pitched in on-track battle, but have retained a close rapport throughout. A collision between the pair in Baku this year might have led to acrimony, but the incident was quickly brushed off as they accepted equal responsibility. Ricciardo will depart for Renault next year, with Pierre Gasly. Ricciardo said he would remain friends with the Dutchman on Red Bull's end-of-season podcast, but cheekily added, "Unless we're battling for the same bit of tarmac." that could always spice it up. I'd say the relationship with Max and myself went better than, I'll be honest, I thought it would go. Just our personalities and our self-belief. I really believe he thinks he's the best in the world and I believe I am. So, that can obviously clash. But we always managed, at least 99% of the time managed to keep that in its own little place. It was cool, it was a good, hard fight with him and I enjoyed it. Next news: Alonso set to play McLaren support role. Fernando Alonso looks set to maintain a close relationship with McLaren despite calling an end to his Formula One career. The two-time world champion decided to wave goodbye to Formula One at the end of this season after growing increasingly disillusioned with the predictability of the sport. But all corners of the McLaren garage are eager to tap into his wealth of knowledge and experience in order to help with the development of the 2019 car. McLaren's 2019 driver lineup, Carlos Sainz and Lando Norris, are both particularly keen on his input. I think his input will be very valuable, Norris said via Autosport. He's got the best idea how the car has changed over the years, the best experience of what's good and what's bad, a lot more than I do. I don't know what's going to happen, if he's still going to be part of much. He's still part of McLaren. It's up to him. It would be cool. Of course I would like to have as many days in the car as possible, but if everyone comes to a decision and thinks it's for the good of the whole team and his feedback will be just as important as mine or Carlos's, then I think it's a good thing. Sainz, who is a good friend of Alonso's, would also welcome advice from his fellow compatriot. It's something that for sure is in McLaren's interests, or also Fernando's interests, to keep himself active, added Sainz. It's a decision more up to the management than to ourselves, but I wouldn't see it with bad eyes. I would see it as a good thing to have a driver like Fernando comparing cars. McLaren CEO, Zak Brown, also still sees Alonso as a very valuable asset to have for the team to have at their disposal. I think you'll see him around McLaren, Brown told the official Formula One website. He remains part of the family, so I think where his influence comes in is helping our two drivers. He knows Carlos pretty well. He's got to know Lando very well. I think there'll be a big benefit of his experience there, and then with the engineers just helping us all work together and understand what's next year's car is doing, and the feedback from the drivers, what would Fernando do in a certain situation. I think that experience will be very valuable to us. Thank you for watching the video. Be sure to share and subscribe to your channel to get the latest sports news around the world. Wished health and success. Goodbye.